Good morning, and welcome again to another Wednesday Wisdom. Today I want to talk to you about an event that's happening, and we see a lot of people going and attending. Tony Robbins has the Business Mastery, where it walks you through a lot of different phases of the business, like how you grow, how you scale, how do you get the business up and running. And Tony Robbins has this this graph, and I'm gonna do. Let me see if I can share this with you. I'm gonna try to put this image for you to kind of see it. And it walks through the 10 stages of a life cycle of a business. And I like to pair this with, the financial needs. When does a CPA come into place? When do you need different types of help outside of what you can do in the business when you're growing a business? So we're gonna just dive right in. I'm gonna go to the stage of the business. If you, you'll have a link or an image that's posted, you can just go use this. Just remember, this is not my image. I did not create this. This is Tony Robbins's 10 stages of the life cycle of a business. So when a business is born, right, he takes this and almost has this cycle of a human. So when a business is born is the birth, right? And you go and take a plunge in, and you take the risk of being a business. So again, on the tax side, the minute you're at risk, you can claim losses. This is really critical for many people, and many people believe that just because I'm in business, I can claim as much loss as I want, which is that's not true. That's more of a myth, right? So here, a lot of people are still going through having a job, having a side business, a side gig, a consulting, 1099 type work, kind of dipping your feet in some investments that you can do, some passive, something before you go and create your own deals, right? So that's birth. It's really, you don't need anything that you already have. So if you're an individual who already has excess cash, right? And you always hear me talk about excess cash. So these are the people who want to be creating the excess cash, or already have the excess cash, and now you're playing with the investments in the investments arena. Okay, and then you go and you grow up, right? And you go to infancy, right? And this is you start hiring a person. I don't honestly, I see business hiring a person in infancy. Infancy is a really up and down period where there's not steady income. There's not, like, you're running the business. You're just trying to produce cash flow, and it's really the biggest issue is cash flow. So people who come to us and say, "Oh, we need your help," when they're in this infancy phase, is where they might make money 1 month, 2 months, they cannot produce the same results. So infancy is when you're very moody, right? Like as a kid, you might have a tantrum, and then you might just go back and figure it out. So you're trying to see how you react to the business challenges, but you don't have yet a whole lot of needs because you could not master how to create steadier cash flow. So because cash flow is an issue, again, do you need tax planning here? It all depends. But this is the very transitional phase, and it should not last for years. So if in the beginning of the year you say, I got this business, I can produce the income, that's your cue. The minute you can produce income and cash flow, that you might need excess help from the outside. What I see that a lot of people are thinking, I'm not big enough, is when they move to a toddler and teenager phase, where you're already producing more cash flow, right? And Tony Robbins on this graph, he characterized the toddler as management by crisis. Business walks and talks on its own, right? This is, you're already starting to do some things. You're already seeing results. You're already looking at a business, right? And you have begun to build management team. Business still relies on you for all the core decisions, and everything is accelerated. Cash flow is still a concern. So at this point, we already hired people. A lot of people delay the action of hiring the right professionals to help them in their journey. But this is really where you should already begin looking into, hey, am I overpaying in tax? Because for many businesses at this stage, and we're not going to talk about the type of business, they could be a single member LLC. You could overpay in tax just by thinking you're too small and you're not taking action fast enough. So where I would really recommend you really looking into okay, what am I doing? Do I have the right structure? What's my goal? Am I building something to sell? Am I building something to take to maturity? What's my maturity point? Not all businesses will make it to reach maturity. The exit strategy is different for every individual and how they want to do it, right? So because of that, where you want to really start investing into kind of the diagram of how your business is and what's the exit that you desire for the business that you got into is the toddler phase. Once you move into the teenager aspect, and listen, we're just in the beginning. So this is birth, infancy, toddler, and this is teenager. So we didn't even reach like the maturity point, right? So this is where you can have the most saving, right? And in teenage phase, it's characterized by crisis created by management, develop professional team to manage a business, cash flow no longer a challenge, right? Growth is focus and innovation is rampant. More means better. Go leaders don't attend meetings. You become overconfident. The trouble is imminent. Okay, so there's some other pieces in play. So here you should already have your board of advisors, right? So on the financial side, you should have board of advisors who can have multiple points of view to help you see, the pitfalls. They help you see where are we headed, what can we do financially to protect ourselves. So really, where I recommend you taking action. I'm not going to explore the whole graph. You can take a look at it. It's an amazing graph to see what do I want for my business? How do I want to exit from the business? The reason why I share this with you is because many people think it's too soon, or they either act too soon on they open a business and they want to hire every individual and they can never move forward because they hire very expensive professionals on their team where they don't need them. Or they delay this process, and when they start making the change and adding the people in, they realize they've already lost tremendous cash flow by not hiring the right individuals from the beginning. So infancy is the pride of ownership. Depending on the business model and depending how much cash flow you're able to produce alongside all the other income that you have, in the infancy phase, you might still look for help, right? But toddler is really the place. And looking at the characteristics of the toddler, are you in the toddler phase, right? When you don't have, all the management, cash flow is a concern. If you're not able to produce cash flow consistently every single month and you're still working on that cash flow and there's no excess cash flow to get the business running every single month, this is really where you should really take a look and analyze, okay? And teenager, at that point, you should already have your board of advisors. You should already, have your team of people that's helping you to decide, the direction. And you might need different variations, different nuances of who do you need on your team to help you, right? And this is a place where CFOs come into place. Again, tax strategy is always a concern. The minute that you have excess cash, that your cash flow is becoming, just consistent. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. I love this graph. I always go and reference this when I look at different people. And if you share just the struggles that you have as a business, you probably share the same types of needs. So use the community, use the people around you to find out where they are in the cycle and what they found useful in that particular phase in their journey in their own business. So I hope this is helpful. I would love to know, where do you land in all of this? And I didn't cover all of them, but just remember, age. Just because you're in business for 30 years doesn't mean you got to maturity. I've seen many businesses that were live and they were functioning for 40 years. They never reached the peak. They never reached the zone of maximization on this graph. So, and they were the same. They were just the same, and they might have stayed in infancy for the entire life. So how long you've been in business has nothing to do with this graph. This is almost like a development of the business, right? How do you move from one stage to another? And how is that useful to you? So take a look at it. I hope it's inspirational for you to really see, where do I want to go? Where am I today, really? And then what do I need to help me get to where I want to be? And just drop me in the chat, where are you? in the stage, and where do you want to be? Like, where do you want to exit, right? I hope you have a great day. Until next time, bye-bye.